I got into the early web, and it was really attractive. I had all these friends that were like and then you sort of hackers in high school or designers in high school that were getting hired directly out of high school and going and working in California in these huge startups and making great salaries. It was an exciting kind of heady time for that industry. I ended up moving over to another large corporation that was their senior web designer as a young guy. I got involved in what's called straight edge hardcore music, so I was really involved in the punk rock scene. I was playing in bands and DJing and doing different things. I got really into art. I got really into writing a zine. In some ways, I was living the materialistic dream. Galleries on the weekend and trips to New York City and Boston constantly, and sort of intellectual discourse and interesting restaurants. And I was living the Epicurian life. And I was miserable. I was miserable because it was just so intensely self-centered. I lose my job, and my girlfriend and I break up, and I end up back on my parents' couch in South Carolina with no career, no significant other, no place to live. All of my stuff in the back of the '93 Honda Accord, and just wondering what's going on. My grandfather, he was in naval intelligence, and then he was an NSA executive. My mother's family on the other side, they were highly educated. My grandfather was heavily involved in the music scene, actually in a nightclub in Woodstock in the 1960s. My parents got me a subscription to Discover magazine and a copy of A Brief History of Time when other kids were reading sports pages. Fairly athletic, I'm sports inclined. I had friends that they wanted to play and they wanted to do things and roughhouse and wrestle. And I was more interested in reading astronomy. And then my grandmother, who she was at Harvard as well. I think she saw talent in my abilities. And so she started pushing me more and more towards being successful in this arena. And I really crumbled under the pressure. I think that's what my using drugs is about. It was about running. It was about running from that. I've gone from taking the SAT in the 7th grade and being recognized by Duke and being recognized by the National Merit Committee to failing out of school. I was 15, 16. I came home. I was stoned. And I was laying on my bed, and I was just depressed, just so depressed. I thought, oh, I'll be dead by the time I'm 30. My father came into my room, he sat down on my bed, and he became a believer sort of during the Jesus movement. And I've just seen him go through so much just to put food on our table, and go through seminary and the way that he cares for other people through his ministry. And he goes, Chris, the Bible's fairly clear about men in leadership in the church. I'm willing to give this life up for you if you want to continue on in this lifestyle. And my father, in relaying that to me, transformed my understanding of what it meant to love another person. And I gave my life to Christ there on my bed. But God had to put me through the crucible to at least understand that he loves me and that my identity is not wrapped up in my success. If I was intellectual, I was a part of the punk rock scene. If I was playing in a band or DJing or doing these different things that I wanted to do, the people would see only the highly curated side that I want them to see. And when you get close to people, you have kids and you get married, they act as this sort of transformative pressure. Like, you reveal yourself in intimacy, and then you have to learn how to love. You actually have to learn how to love, and you have to learn how to be exposed as a failure. Like, right after Aaron and I got married, I was like, I'm leaving this art director position I had, and I didn't want to do design anymore. I was working in a coffee shop, wasn't being really a good provider whatsoever. I got a job working for a design group. I ended up getting fired from that position. I showed up because Erin at this point she's cleaning houses, and I walk into this house. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and she goes, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" We had just found out that we were pregnant with our daughter the day before. and just feeling completely gutted that here I am again for all of the work that I've put into this and all of the posturing that I've done. I'm just not good enough. And Erin, she just accepted me. She accepted me. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out. It'll work out. Most of my life, I never really thought that love could be that.
If this story inspired you, take the steps to change your life. The first step is always to say, Jesus, help me. Come On, Let's Go distributes hundreds of similar stories of lives changed by Jesus Christ. If you want to be part of this vision, go.